topics affecting women today. Let's start the show with your host, Karen Pulver.
Welcome, everyone, to Grateful Goddesses and what I like to call on Wednesday nights GGTV, because we all like to watch TV, right? But here you are going to not only watch, but you're going to learn lessons. And what I love about our Wednesday night GGTV podcast is that you not only get to listen and watch our guest, which you would in a normal podcast or YouTube, but you get to interact, you get to ask questions, you get to take part in activities, and we have some of those tonight. And what's better than that, right? So tonight, if you would like to join our virtual live audience, it's not too late. Just go to pulver.com, pulver.com, and scroll under to GGTV, do a quick register, and then you're on the show, and you're going to get a chance to not only participate, but tonight we have a raffle, and we're going to raffle off some different prizes. So you can't win those if you're just sitting at home watching the Facebook or LinkedIn. So join us here on the show. You can, however, come with your camera off or on. It's really up to you. So please join us live. All right, before we introduce our guest tonight, I wanted to ask you all to do something. I want you to first take a piece of paper, it can be any size, fold it in half or draw a line down the middle. And on one side, you're going to write 3 things that you feel you are really good at, okay? That's easy for you, that comes naturally to you, something you can do effortlessly. And if you just have one, that's fine, but try for 3. And then on the other side, you're going to write 3 things, or 1 or 2, that you're passionate about, something that you've dreamed about, something that perhaps that you've always wanted to do, but you know, you're just not sure, or maybe it's something that you're actually doing in your life too right now, but you're really passionate about it. So for example, if money were not an issue at all with this, or there were no obstacles to block you, and you know, because if you're really passionate about something, you might say, oh, but I can't do it because this is blocking, this is what. Imagine there's no restraints. What would you do that you're really passionate about? So while you're doing that, I will explain that we will be taking that paper later on and working with it. So if you can't do that right now and you're having some trouble thinking about it, there will be time. All right. So thank you again for joining us. Our guest tonight is Alison Robertson. I had the opportunity of working with her in a few sessions that she coached me, as well as interviewing her last year for Grateful Goddesses. She's the author of the book Enoughness, The Simple Truth to Embracing You. This book is on the Forbes bestselling list as one of the best out of 7 health books. Alison is an actor, mother, solution-focused coach. I love that, solution-focused coach, motivational speaker, and podcast host of her own show, Hold the Drama, a surviving guide for people in show business. Whew, welcome, Alison. That's a mouthful. You've really done a lot in your life.
I thank you. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This is lovely.
You know, I interviewed you. I was listening to the episode today. It was like over a year ago. And yeah. I have to tell you, before we get into some other questions, that you really motivated me working with you. You motivated me to do just all of these things that are really adding to my life. So I wanted to thank you for that. And I was re-listening to the episode today, which I always do before a GGTV night. And I was like, oh yeah, we have to talk about that. So all these great, juicy tidbits of information in this book. It's really, really fabulous. Okay, so the title, Enoughness. What does that mean to you?
Enoughness. Well, first of all, when I was publishing the book, no one wanted me to call the book Enoughness. And it just stuck with me because it came out of a passage in my book. And enoughness to me means being grateful for where you are and what you have. It makes you enough. I mean, starting from that place allows you to see what happens after that as the blessings that they are, and being grateful for that. It allows you to build a sense of self. Enoughness tells you that you have everything you need inside of you. It doesn't mean you don't want more. It doesn't mean you don't want to learn more. It just means you have enough right here, right now to start and to grow and to begin. And I feel like that's something we aren't taught all the time.
Because we come from a place of lack, right?
Absolutely.
We're missing this, or you should do this, you should do that. Let's talk about shoulds. I mean, as a mother, I can't help it.
Well,
as a parent, it's like, you need to do this. You need to do, like, even with my younger daughter for this summer, I said, you need to do an internship, and she's doing it, but it's like,
does she, mom? How about this? Here's the thing with should evokes guilt and victim, right? I should, it means I forgot. I should, it's a lack less than mentality. I like to switch it to you get to. So should and have to should go into the same basket, and we should just put it away in the shelf or just go away. So if you can switch it to I get to, your daughter gets to have an internship if she chooses to at this time. Right. Which is all empowerment.
And she did, by the way. Okay, and it was more, it was that little push of me saying, just try the interview, see what happens. And then sure enough, she actually said, I'm going to do this.
And I get it. Sometimes we get ourselves so wrapped up in language, right? But language is so important, starting with ourselves.
As long as I'm not saying, you should be doing what you're not doing right now, which is, look at this. On my Surrey, I just said, I didn't get that. Could you try again? Because I'm telling it, you should be doing that. That's funny. Okay.
You trained it well.
I trained it well. Okay. So we're going to now look at our paper. And this is a really lovely group, Alison. I like to put them on the spot. And I'm going to see if anyone, and if you don't, I will. He's still asking. I got to shut this off. He doesn't understand me. Okay. If anyone would like to volunteer to show they're good at their gifts and their passion with you tonight.
Sure.
Anyone like to just raise your hand? If not, I will. Okay. Jonathan is up. Let's unmute Jonathan. Welcome, Jonathan.
Hello.
Hi, Jonathan.
All right. So what I'm good at is coaching, sports and fitness, and sleeping. And what I want to do, I guess, is travel, have the family lifestyle that I dream of, and transformational work with first responders.
Okay.
So when I did this with Alison, she really helped me. She gave me guidance in this. And well, I won't say what happened with me. Let's work on you, and then I'll say what happened with me. Go ahead.
So do you mind if I just go back one step and explain what this is? Sure. Just a smidge? Sure. Yeah, okay. Sure. So this is just me. I believe we have a gift and a passion, right? And I live here in Los Angeles, and being a creative and a multi-passionate, I think we get it mixed up a lot of times, right? We take our gifts and our passions and we duke them out, and we feel that we're not successful, or we're not doing what we should, or we could be better, or we have all this noise and limiting beliefs. And I think that we have gifts that we're just born with. We're just great at. We've been doing it since we were children. And I don't necessarily mean artistic gifts, right? You might be an amazing mathematician, or you might be an incredible sewer, or you might be incredible with animals or plants. So when Karen asked, like, what is your gifts? What is something that since you were a little kid, people have been saying, you're just really funny, or you're really great with people. I hear the coaching, I hear the sports fitness and sleeping. I've never met a world-class sleeper, but I'm going to go with it with you. So now a passion is something that you will do, like you're drawn to it no matter what. You don't need to make money with it. It's something that lights you up. It's something that fills your cup back up. Now, many people have taken their passions and turned it into maybe a career or a living. And I think once we denote these two things, gifts or passions, then we're able to see how we can feed into them, right? So I hear your passion is for traveling and your family lifestyle and transformational work with first responders. That sounds amazing. Are you sure that's a passion and not a gift?
Well, the gifts are intertwined
John?
into the passion.
Mm-hmm. So may I ask you to move that over into your gifts? I mean, into your gift, since it's intertwined.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm just having a thought on that.
Okay.
Are you currently working with first responders?
Yes.
And is it something you do for a living?
Yes.
So can you tell me a tad more? Is there something more you want with it?
Yeah. So it's this organization, and basically what it is creating the new mental health standard for police officers.
Wowee. Okay. And what do you need for it to be what you want it to be?
Wow, that's a loaded question. How do I answer that? We really don't need anything because it already all exists. It's just a matter of bringing it all together and being able to present it in a way that makes an impact with that community that's been beat up for so long.
It needs they need to be, is it education? Like a reframing of an education?
Education, healing, development, leadership. There's, a lot of components to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Karen, how far do you want me to go? Am I doing what you want me to do? I feel like
you can go a little bit more. We have the time.
Okay, good. Yeah. Is this your background, Jonathan?
I was a cop for a little while, yes.
Was that a calling, or was that just a job that you did?
It was something that I had to go through to get me to my calling now.
There you go. Okay. So it was a talent you had that turned into your gift.
Or a test.
So you're the perfect guardian to deliver this information.
There you go.
What is the biggest obstacle for you?
Well, there's a couple. So 1 is financial, 2 is the system, and 3 is the narrow-mindedness of not only the officer, but of the media and politics that are
the
not
climate.
Correct.
I see your mountain. I understand. So thank God one of your gifts is sports and fitness. So because you've the battle in front of you. So it is reframing, right? It's all about reframing for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Reframing this people's perception, I should say.
Yes, there's a huge component of reframing the individual officer first and foremost that will lead to the reframing of the industry as a ripple effect.
I have the chills on this one. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So what do you, as the conduit, the leader of this, what quality and what do you need to lead with to make this happen that you don't already possess?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer that. It's hard to see what we don't have, right? What we lack. I would say probably from the enoughness.
Where's the no coming? Where are you getting no?
Financial.
So no one's saying no to you or the program. It's financial to hold up the program. Is that correct?
Yes. So everyone wants the program, but they don't have it in their budget so it always boils down to financials. Everybody knows that this is what is needed.
Jonathan, I'm going to connect you with somebody in Texas. Where are you located?
Florida.
Okay, close enough. I'm going to connect you to somebody in Texas who is an advocate in teaching police officers. I don't know how to put this. Just give me a second, Karen. I'm going to connect you to somebody who had an incident with the police officers as an elderly man because he went into a diabetic coma and they diabetic shock, excuse me, and they thought he was drunk and something horrific happened. Okay.
Yep.
He survived, this older gentleman, and he won a monumental lawsuit. He took all that money and put it back into his community in educating the police officers on what was going on.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
So I have chills again. I believe that you are meant to talk to me and I am to connect you to my girlfriend's father. And you are to talk about what he does and how he does it. And I don't know why you picked to talk to me, but that's the information I'm going to give you right now. Is that okay? Would you like that? Would that be helpful? I don't know how Florida and Texas talk to each other, but there's got to be something.
I'll
there.
connect you guys on your emails, but you know,
Okay.
Alison, this happens every week. There's always these serendipitous events. It's true.
Okay.
People are, always connecting.
Okay. He's the most lovely gentleman and he's in his 70s and this is what he has decided to do with his situation. So quite remarkable. Thank you, Jonathan, for sharing with me. I totally appreciate you.
We
Yeah.
had another request, Alison, so I'm going to let it happen.
Okay.
We'll move on. But Rochelle actually would like to share her gifts and passions.
Okay. Hi, Rochelle.
She needs to unmute.
You
Rochelle.
to mute.
I just love what you're doing, and I would love some insight to me because I think when things are very natural to any of us, I don't think we see it as gifts because it's like I have brown hair. So, I mean, like, why is that something special? It's not. So I can relate to the passion side, and I've written some stuff there, but I'm not so sure about the gift side because I think, certain of the things that I think is very, I guess, easy for me. I don't know if it's not a big deal or I can't really pinpoint it. So I love the exercise that you were doing. So just like do away so that I can kind of, so like do your thing.
So tell me let me hear your 3 things that you wrote, please.
Well, in terms of what I'm passionate about is I love travel. I love humor, just bringing humor to things. I just think, to lighten things up. And I've always loved personal development. I think that's been just a very big road for me my entire life. And so those are 3 things that I'm very interested in. In terms of, my gift, I don't know. I mean, I love facilities.
What have you been doing since you were a little girl? Since you were a little girl, what have you heard the most? Like,
interesting. This is interesting. I'm thinking back very, very early. I would make people happy. Like I would make my mom happy by being cute and adorable in Yiddish. She would look at me and she would get so, she would be happy. If somebody was having like friends would have a rough time, I would tell a great story and people would kind of be happy about it. I think that's what I was especially good in the household was to kind of make people happy in the household.
Mm-hmm. And what about now? What about today? Is there anything you've carried over today? What do you do currently? I'm
a business consultant and I love doing it. I love working with small businesses to kind of, get them up and running and do better. I love what I always say that I love making a difference for a business owner so that they can make a difference to their employees and their families and their communities. And I love being part of that ripple effect. So what I do and what we all do, it doesn't just stay with us. It just has this ripple effect. And I love doing that. I love having that longer impact.
So if money was no object, what's the dream? I give you the magic fairy wand and tomorrow your life becomes exactly what you want with this. What would you do?
I would continue doing the facilitating, that I would continue doing the business, but I would do it on a global basis. I would love to like facilitate in London and Australia and, South Africa. I mean, I would love to be more visible on a global scale.
Okay, so the first thing before you started talking to me, I wrote down was storyteller and connector. And then you said you were a business consultant. So now that I got the whole picture from you, this is my sense of what you're telling me. You want to play bigger. That's what it is. You are bored. I'm sorry. You love what you do, but you're bored. You want bigger. You want bigger. You want more. You want it to be grander. And
definitely a connector that you recognize that I talk, again, it's natural, so I don't pay attention to it, but I'm definitely a connector.
And when I said if money was no object, you were like, I want it to be global. I mean, please excuse me. I'm from New Jersey, so my directness can come out. I've just been in California so long that I'm like, I don't say the things that enter my brain.
No, hello, I'm Brooklyn. You can say whatever you like.
Okay. So here's the deal. Normal people don't say, I would go global. Like, they don't say that. They say like, oh, I go on vacation. No, you said I would make this global. I would still do what I do, but I'd go global. I want to be in London and South Africa. I mean, I also understand where we've just come from, where we've been in our houses and we haven't been able to see that. That must have been a nightmare for you. I mean, if you're somebody who wants to connect and you've been stuck in your house, I can't imagine. You must have been crazy.
I have a quick question. Just sorry to interrupt. Would you say that would be bravery? Like she's brave, she's courageous. Like that's a gift. That's a gift.
I don't think so, because I don't label myself brave. As a matter of fact, the name of your book is it hit such a core because I never felt enough. I was never enough. I never felt enough. I'm not saying that I wasn't enough. I'm just saying that I felt that I was not enough.
It's about her. It's her she wants her container to be bigger, right? So it's about a sense of self-esteem, self-confidence. It's about that wanting to be bigger. And she has a livelihood and a job and a desire and a gift and a talent, which is making people happy, connecting people. And she wants to use humor to do it. It's actually the perfect synergy to no, not everybody feels that way. I see in the chat that someone said, doesn't everybody feel that way? No, not everybody feels that way, right? Not everybody wants to be bigger, right? Some people want to be narrow. They want to go this way. It's just a unique thing. I think it's joyous when I see someone like Rochelle, who is happy in what they're doing, but they want more. So she's not coming from a place of lack. She almost has to work. You almost have to work on your self-esteem and your self-confidence are two different things, right? Self-esteem is how we feel about ourselves, and self-confidence is about what we do with, right? So, and they feed one another. I hope I'm leading you the way you want to be led. Honestly, if you were in my world, I would be having you throw your hat over the highest walls and going and grabbing it and failing all over the place, because I don't think you fail. I mean, look what's behind your backdrop. So yeah. I really think the only person holding you back is you. And just a couple, I really hope you win the raffle on my book. And if you don't, I'll send you a copy because I think it would benefit greatly. But thank you for being so brave and sharing with me. Karen, I could go on forever. I'm so sorry.
No, I am so glad that we got.
I would love it. I'll put my address in the chat. Thank you so much. Because again, I mean, when you said not enough, I'm saying I'm like glued to this screen. If I can get closer, I would.
Thank you.
I'm so glad. This is her book, Enoughness, that we're going to raffle one off, as well as a journal. We're going to move on a little bit because there's just so many like juicy, yummy things to digest here. We're going to talk about words and affirmations. we talked in the episode about our brains and how our brains, doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, it takes it in. So, and it's the reticulating, you say it, activating.
The reticular activating system, the RAS.
RAS. Okay. So when we talk about positive affirmations, excuse me, sometimes it's awkward to say nice things about yourself. I mean, when I talk to people and I say, write down some affirmations, they're like, well, like what? Like, I'm pretty, I'm smart. You don't want to say that about yourself necessarily. So I do want to do a very quick activity, and then we're going to talk more with Alison about affirmations and words. So I want you to take your paper, and maybe on the bottom, imagine that you're telling 3 things to a friend or a child or a teacher or someone special in your life. So for example, I might say to my daughter who's here tonight, you are so smart, you are beautiful, you light up a room, and I love you. I'm adding 4. And after you complete them, cross out. I made this activity up. I don't know if you like it, Alison, but I like it for me. So I did it. Cross out the you are, and now you're going to switch it. You're going to shift it to I am. Now I know you might think, like I said about my daughter, she's smart, but now I'm saying I am smart. You may want to change the word after too, but the whole idea of this exercise, the way I see it, is now you're saying I am smart, I am beautiful, I light up a room, and I love me. And then take those, write those down on sticky pads and stick them on your bathroom mirror. And then, right, every morning, look at them. And now we're going to find out why.
Yes. I mean, like I said, you all know that I am a girl from New Jersey. And the first time I heard about affirmations and the power of positive thinking, I was just like, oh, good Lord. So I had to base everything in, I wanted to know why and how and science. And even though I'm not a science girl, right? But I still had to know why. And I'm a very big proponent of reading Dr. Shad Helmstetter. He has a book called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And it's all about the science behind why affirmations work, or the power of positive thinking, and what Karen is talking about, the reticular activating system. Here's your brain, here's your spinal cord. Right there sits the reticular activating system. It's the gatekeeper of information. It's what disseminates what comes into your brain. So your affirmations, your positive thinking or your negative thinking is what feeds this reticular activating system. It's what filters all the stimulus, all the information that comes into our brain. It takes about 100 pieces of information in per second. So if you are walking around saying, I am not enough, I am not worthy, I'm bad with money, I'm never going to get that job, I'm not going to do anything. Wow, I really wish I could make some money. The brain has heard me say so many things. It doesn't know negative from positive. It's only going to search out what I told it. Dr. Shad even goes as far as to say that a smoker should smoke, actually do the physical activity and say, I'm not a smoker, because the brain will perceive it as not smoking, not the health benefits. I'm not talking about that, but it's about changing you out of that. The RAS validates our beliefs, right? It helps you see what you want. It enforces our goals. It is the most powerful thing. And I wish they would teach this in schools, because if kids knew why we're saying, don't be mean to, the other thing is stop. Would you, the way some of us talk to ourselves, would you allow anyone to talk like that in front of you about that person? You would be like, knock it. I'm going to knock it off. So that is why affirmations are important and valid, and why we should do them, as silly as we feel, and why we should also, the RAS is visual. So if you can actually visualize the positive outcome, if you can actually visualize your business in South Africa and London, if you can actually visualize Blue Guardian fully funded, the easier it is for the brain to obtain it.
And we were talking on the podcast about law of attraction or vision boards. I know Jonathan's going to be doing that tomorrow in his, what he's doing. But anyway, how important they are. And it's related because it's all about what you put out into the universe and what you really believe. Your thoughts turn into actions.
Yes. Yes, we take information and we turn it into knowledge, and then we take an action. So of course, it all goes together.
It makes sense. Since our episode, well, before I interviewed you a year ago, I used to say, I'm so bad at technology. I'm so bad, and I continue to be bad. And now it's like, no, I don't say I'm good at it, but I say I'm getting so much better at technology.
Yes. Yes.
I think it really, really helps. So thank you for that. Would anyone like to share their affirmations? You can share if you've shared before too. Lauren, I'm going to put you on the spot. Oh yeah. Anyone?
Okay. The affirmations?
Yeah. Like,
I
what
didn't
would you
write
say?
them all down because I was so listening.
Okay.
To what's
So
going on.
what would you say to one of your kids?
I would say, I like the way you share. Hello, Jeff. You want to come in and say hi? Jeff just walked in the room.
What would you say? What would you say to your brother, Jeff?
You're very smart.
Oh, what are you sharing?
You're
We're
kind
talking-
to most of the world.
We're talking affirmations.
Except me, but that's okay.
So, Jeff, I was explaining for me, I like
Okay,
to.
you'll be here in a second. Hold on.
Okay. Anyway, so there we go. So take those and Rochelle.
There he is.
Hi, Jeff.
Hello.
Sorry, we didn't mean to interrupt like that. But
That's
honestly, the piece that you're working on is probably the hardest part, because I beat myself up all the time, and I know that I do. And my kids do it, and they call me up and they say these things, and I'm like, you wouldn't say that to me. So, why would you let yourself say it to you? And we all know that it's very bad. I mean, I just looked up the book that you suggested about what to say to yourself when you talk to yourself, because it's a book I really have to read, because it is the worst piece of what plagues me. And sometimes I think it's our family, but I guess it's the whole world. Everybody does this, but it's so bad. Thanks.
Hey, Lauren, can I give you an affirmation?
Yes.
I am willing to grow into the powerful, confident person I know that I am.
Oh, we
Like
all
that.
need that. Write that down.
You can all have it. But
Okay, we'll
Thank
share.
you.
Thank
Well,
you.
I was going to say, Allison, when I was thinking of an exercise for tonight, I also
sure.
thought about listing 3 things that you feel you're not good at,
Mhm.
and then switching it. But I didn't even want to put that out to the universe.
And can I just address something really quickly, because I see that everyone is around the same age, same generation. And, I hear we're talking about our kids, and, it's a different generation. Okay. And they, the personal development that they're growing up with is different than the personal development that we learned. So those coaches that are out there, please be aware. That's toxic positivity, and you're going to hear it coming back at you. And I just want you to be aware of it, because I have 2 teenage daughters, and I hear it a lot. Right, Mom, you're being toxic. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just trying to bolster you up. So I just want to be aware that I always try to back up what I'm saying with not facts, but why I'm saying it, like that I'm rooted in a truth that, and I think that's important that you do that with yourself, right? What is toxic positivity? When someone is saying they're having a bad day, or like Lauren was saying, this is so bad. This is a bad thing, right? And I'm sure all the coaches heard her using this word, right? And then we could have all jumped on her and started saying, it's not that bad. You're very lucky. You have a very blessed life. You have brothers and sisters, and look, you're running this show. See, I'm telling her all the positive things, but I'm doing it in a shaming way. It's toxic. And I think as parents and as coaches and educators, we just have to be careful of not denying someone's experience to make sure that they can have a better way of doing it. So that's why I said, is it okay if I give you an affirmation instead of just giving it to her? I always ask permission before I give anybody anything.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
No.
Yeah. Wow.
You're not muted. That's okay.
I
I'm
know
glad
that's
she heard.
because
I'm-
Jeffrey's sitting here over my
I
shoulder.
know.
Wow.
And
And I
Alison-
just muted myself.
I know. And Alison, I have to tell you, I'm getting all these private messages about how great you are and to rebook you right now. So we're going to have to rebook. But
Thank you.
Elliot had his hand up. So I would love to unmute Elliot. If that's okay.
Please.
Elliot, you can now unmute yourself. Thank you for joining us, Elliot.
Hi, Elliot. Oh,
Try again. Okay. Nope. You muted yourself. Okay, let's try. No. I'm not touching a thing. Elliot, you have to do it. Okay, we'll get to you in a few minutes, okay? You keep working on.
Oh,
Oh, there
there
you
he
are.
is.
Here we are. We got
hi, Elliot.
just a quick thing. You were talking about talking to yourself. That's the famous Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm. I like to talk to myself. Well, I like to talk to someone intelligent. As far as that's concerned. And the beginning of the show, as I mentioned to you, Karen, passion in Zula with Jeff Pulver, the first thing that a participant comes when we meet them and introduce them is, what is your passion? Passion is the number one thing. And as far as children and everything, with my children and grandchildren, my theme and our theme with my wife is follow your hopes and dreams. There's no barriers for a child, ever. The sky is the limit, and they should think that way. And nothing should curtail that. Even going to college, and they have a better way of doing something. Whatever. Hopes and dreams, that's my thing.
Good mentor. Good grandfather and father. That's awesome.
Unlike me telling my daughter she needs an internship, but that's okay. We're going to get past that.
We'll get over it.
Look, I'm very transparent here. I guess that was the little voice of me saying, come on, chop, chop, chop. But I hear you, Elliot. I do tell my kids when they're doing internships, pick whatever you want. Okay, we're going to move on now to imposter syndrome. You yourself even had it, Alison.
Mm-hmm.
And you did quote this Harvard study in our podcast, which I'd like for you to share if you remember. And but you yourself had a bit of feeling of imposter syndrome with your book. So can you share those two?
Yeah, sure. So imposter syndrome, for those that don't know, it's when you doubt your achievement or you feel like a fraud. And no matter what you do, you don't feel that it's good enough. And there's 5 types of imposter syndrome. One is the perfectionist, the expert, the natural genius, the Superman or Superwoman, and then the soloist. And they're all forms of that. So it was coined in 1978 by 2 psychologists, Pauline Clance and what's her name? Suzanne Eames.
And
it was
repeat? Sorry, I'm getting a message. If you don't mind, and I'll type it. Can you repeat it? What the 5 are, please?
Sure. The 5 types are the perfectionist. You have to be 100% perfect in all the time and in timing. When you do something. The expert, if you don't know the right answer, you don't speak up. The natural genius, you are just naturally smart and you are dumbfounded when you don't know the answer to something. The Superman or Superwoman, that's the overachiever, the workaholic. And the soloist, you do everything yourself, and if you have to ask for help, you see it as a failure.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So this was coined in 1978 by the 2 psychologists, and a study for high achieving women. And now over 70% of the population has imposter syndrome. They walk around feeling not enough. And I think it's fascinating. Feeling that they're a fraud. That's the biggest thing, right? They said that women, the study you're talking about, Karen, is from Harvard, where they said that women that applied to Harvard Medical that were women actually called, there's this high percentage that called to check whether their acceptance was correct or a mistake, because that's how strong the imposter syndrome is. So if anybody, I mean, this goes for everybody, but I have 2 daughters, so I am on this like a hawk, trying to tell them how amazing their achievements and why I'm not being toxic. And it's really incredible how it can be pervasive. And for myself, I'm an actor by trade and personal development by, I should say I'm an actor by passion, and I'm personal development by gift. And I decided to write a book and thought it's where my gift and my passion came crashing together. And I thought I shouldn't be doing this. And I was plagued by the imposter syndrome the entire time my book was being written, and through all the rewrites and the cover. And then finally the book came out. It came out in July. And I was pretty sure by December it would be everybody's doorstop of all my family and friends that I forced
Your mom's
to buy
giggling.
it.
Your mom's giggling.
And in October, Forbes said it was the top 7 books to help you help yourself in 2019. And I self-published. So I literally went into a tailspin, and even my business partner said, well, did we pay for this? Like how did this? And I actually tracked down the person and said, how did you find me? And he said, I read your book. That's how I found you. And it took me, like Karen said, it took me quite a bit. Not that I didn't believe in my information. It just took a second for that reflection to come back to me. And I do believe reflection is our greatest feedback and champion.
And I really appreciate you opening up about that, to show, that you had that as well. I feel that I do too. And you and I were talking way back a year ago. I was contemplating getting my certification for coaching. I was thinking about it because one of the things that I felt that I was really passionate about was connecting people, but I also felt like people would tell me their problems, and I'd listen, and I felt like I could maybe do this. So now that I'm almost there, I'm almost accredited, I'm already thinking, what else can I do? What else can I add? So I'm curious to know, when is enough enough?
That is entirely up to you.
Yeah.
That is going to be based on what are your goals and what are you trying to achieve?
Mm-hmm.
And when you achieve them, whether they're big or small, do you celebrate them? Because I feel like so many times people reach a goal and they run right past it. We do it in relationships also, so I feel like you have to celebrate. No, you don't have to do anything. You get to celebrate everything that you accomplish. Because if you don't celebrate it, then how do I recognize that it's a big deal for you?
And
right?
I was also, go ahead.
That's the
No,
first thing.
I was also thinking, because I was reading in your book about how fears and insecurities sabotage our feelings of enoughness. And that's me. I'm fearful that I won't be taken seriously, or who are you? How can you coach me? You've just done X, Y, and Z. You need to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G all the way, and I'm like, no, so that's a fear that I have to conquer.
It's a limiting belief. It's bigger. It's more than a fear. It's a limiting belief
Right.
based in your own world, right? It's a feeling versus a fact.
Right.
And a lot of times when we have obstacles that we're like, why can't I get there? Really say to yourself, is this a feeling or is this a fact? I mean, if the fact is I don't have the money to go to school, that's a fact. That's not a feeling. If the feeling is, oh, who am I to do this? That's a feeling. And that is something we can move right through.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you want to know if enough is enough, like when is enough enough, like when
is
will
it
I feel
enough?
what, you know,
When, yeah.
when do I get there?
Right.
Actually get into the real world and practice.
Right.
Actually start to help people. Actually take the gift, your time, your certification, everything you do, and put it into the real world. And you will see right away. I've been coaching for over 10 years, and no one has ever asked me anything about any of my education ever.
Of your background.
Oh,
Like, what
nothing.
else do you
Literally
have?
go like, I even lead them. I'm like, hey, hi, do you want to know anything about me? They're
Right.
like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, you don't, nothing. I have like papers and
Yeah,
they're like,
no,
I want to
I'm
know.
coaching, and my friend here, Natalie, she's has her camera off, but by the way, she's coaching for people who are going through cancer. I'm just giving you a little pitch, Natalie. So I know you don't want to show yourself, but you will next time. So if anyone wants to reach out to her, she's in Toronto, but we both are supporting each other. And that's something too, you mentioned, is about reflection, like
Yeah.
having that person to reflect. And what I love about my new friend, Natalie here, is we peer coach each other. And we're honest. I'm like, you're not listening, or, back and forth, or that was great. You really heard what I was saying. And I think we need that in our lives, right?
I think the world needs that. And I think it's a skill that we need to teach, and it needs to be honored, and it should be just like kindness and compassion. It's a commodity that is worthwhile, I think, right? And you don't know that reflection. In the book I talk about my dad, and that he was a football player, and he broke his neck, and he lost his scholarship to college, and he thought his life was over. And then I don't know, college admission person said, well, you're not going to school here, and you need to figure out your money. And the reflection was, kid, you're lucky to be alive. Figure out what you're doing with your life. And my father then went on to create a business that he sold to Westinghouse before he was 40. So had that reflection not come up, or he had wallowed in what he was doing, his life might have altered in a different way. And we all of us, it doesn't have to be a tragedy. It doesn't have to be something dramatic or tragic, but we all have a reflection like that can alter our course into something greater, bigger, that makes us enough.
Okay, we're going to end with the sounding board, and then we'll do our raffle. But I actually have this little guy on my desk because he's balancing on his beak. And I know in your book you talk about balancing, and we always hear, oh, I have to balance my life. I have to juggle everything and keep it all on the same. And you say no. Why?
No.
Why?
Well, I went to like so many therapists and coaches and gurus, and I'm in California, and we have something for everything. And I was always trying to balance the scale and balance my diet and balance my day timer, because that's how old I am, and balance, the budget. And it never, ever worked for me, because balancing for me is bullshit, to be honest. It's when I really started to learn that to equalize and see that not everything is important in my life, but not everything gets the same weight every day. Different things have different nuances and different evaluations. So if you think about a soundboard at the back of a sound studio or the back of a concert hall, it has all those knobs and dials and widgets and toggles, right? I want you to think of your life, your kids, your business, your finances, your dreams. You're going to the grocery store, losing 5 pounds, gaining 5 pounds, taking a trip, whatever it is, all on your board. You don't need to touch every dial. A sound engineer doesn't say volume 10, I'm done, bass up. No, he listens, or she listens, and adjusts, and sits back and adjusts, and you deal with your life that way. I have an exercise where you find out what's important, what are you forgetting. And I think it's a better way to do things, because balancing are scales, and to me that creates stress and anxiety, and I can do that all by myself without adding more of that.
It's so true. And you can, if you tune into the episode that we recorded on Grateful Goddesses with Alison, you see her working through that with me. And if you want her to work through that with you, how can people contact you along with all the other amazing gifts that you offer?
Well, you're so sweet. You can go to my website, AlisonRobertson.com. And if you are not a hold a book person, you can download a free copy of my book on your Kindle, Enoughness, The Simple Truth to Embracing You. It's right there on my website. And you can also find out how to work with me and all the other fun things that I have going on. But
you're going to join us again, right?
If I would love
Part
to. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Thank you. And thank you for everybody that shared.
We're going to have you back in a few months, and then we'll see if people, how they're feeling, how they shifted, for sure.
I definitely would love to see that.
And really quick, I wanted to ask you, you have a journal. So we're going to raffle off a book, but what's the journal?
We just made a black journal that says Enoughness, because I feel like so many people are taking notes in the book that I decided I gave them a little companion journal to write with them. Yeah, I'll send you one.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's do a drum roll. Lauren, who wins the book?
I don't know. We'll see. Okay.
Amanda, you're so cute. Good luck to all, but I'm hoping Amanda's won a lot, but it's okay. If she wins again, that's fine.
Audrey Ling.
Audrey Ling. Oh, hi, Audrey. Welcome. Yay, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey. Yay, Audrey.
Audrey is new. I actually spoke with Audrey. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
She's joining us. Look at you. You joined the first time and you won. Look at that.
I know. Woohoo. How are you going to get it all the way to Mexico?
We will figure that out.
Figure it out. I think that's pretty. I think I can do that.
There's also an e-copy, right? People can get that. Okay.
Everyone can do that. Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you for joining us, Audrey. And who is going to get the book? What I'll do is connect Audrey and Alison via email.
Mm-hmm.
Who's getting the journal?
Oh no, they can come. Oh yeah. Okay.
Will they come together?
Yeah, I'll do two. Oh, they can come together. Absolutely. Let's hope for Amanda.
Amanda.
Oh no way.
You're kidding.
No.
See, things happen here on Grateful Goddesses. Yes.
It says Amanda.
And I would like to purchase a journal too, but I'll do that with you after the show. Thank you so much. I will send you those emails. This was a great
please do.
Everyone, please subscribe to Grateful Goddesses so that you can come back and join us on GGTV, and also subscribe to the podcast YouTube. Oh, hi, honey. There's my daughter. Thank you for your support tonight, Skylar. I'm so glad everyone joined us, and have a great evening. Good night.
Night, everybody.
Recording stopped.
Thank you so much. That was great, Alison.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
It was wonderful.
Hi, Mike. I'm glad you joined us.
Yeah, and let me know. I'll send out books, and I'll send you guys some journals. They're very.
So, do you think you can send to Mexico or no?
I see why not.
Okay.
I'm in California. Isn't it just right there?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, Alison, I'm wearing gold bracelets because of your gold bangle story. And
God, that's so funny.
I started doing that.
My story.
Because each one tells a story. Yeah. And I have like one when I traveled with my girls, one when my friend got me, I got from all that stuff. Anyway. Amanda.
I love it. That makes me so happy.
All right.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Have a good night, everybody. Yes.
Thank you. Lauren, will you let me know how I can get a copy of this? Will you email Melissa so we can
absolutely
play with this?
We have it on Pulver Studios, and we'll just send you the YouTube.
And Alison, you're always welcome to join us with other guests too, and tell your friends.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Zoom,
I will.
The Zoom version, which I can download you to, the problem that it does is even if we spotlight you, it jumps back and forth to whoever's speaking.
Okay.
But the YouTube version has you both on the screen at the same time. So
yeah,
I'll get
great.
Best for sharing.
Sorry?
Okay.
the YouTube link, like when I have friends that miss one,
Right.
the YouTube link is a lot easier for them to
So,
watch.
so much easier to share. So I will send that to you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much.
It's great to see you.
Good
Bye.
to see
Good night,
you.
everybody.
Have a good
Take
night.
good care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, love you guys.
Love you too. Bye.
Lauren, are we on tomorrow morning?
Yes. Jeff's here tomorrow morning. It will be next week. Jonathan volunteered to run next week, so he'll be the first guest host. After that, maybe you'll do it.
Maybe. Okay.
Love you. See you in the morning.
Tell Jeff I sent them word. I sent him a note this morning that I have words.
Okay, good. I will tell him.
If he wants to do them tomorrow, he can, but I want to do them when he's in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tomorrow. Jeff's in the other room. He said tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.